I would like to introduce you. You're one of the last witnesses of what the mother said intimately to very few people. And I always felt that, the testimony of your experience with the mother and how you felt she viewed things and how today, what she would say today about certain subjects like Auroville, like India, is very precious. Hence, we've started this series of interviews and at your own pace, on your own subject. We will be most grateful to have you say and your views.
Francois, thank you very much for coming here and asking me this very important question. One thing that I would like to remember is that during one of my conversations with the mother, she told me that she has 3 steps of her action. The first step of action, she said, was the establishment of the Center of Education at the ashram at Pondicherry.
That is done.
Second step, she said, is Auroville. And third step is Sri Aurobindo's action. The central theme of which is India and solutions of the problems of India in the light of Sri Aurobindo. I was very happy to hear this, and in my heart I prayed to the mother, please put me in all the 3 steps. And my life thereafter has been so modulated automatically that I have been able to participate in all the 3 activities. Activities of the Center of Education of the ashram, Auroville, and Sri Aurobindo's action. Another thing that I remember was that during one of my conversations with the mother, I was so enthused about Auroville that I told the mother, Mother, we should establish Auroville at many places in India. And when I said this, mother was so pleased with me that she said, excellent, excellent, excellent. So in my view, this Auroville is only the starting point. A time must come when we should be able to establish such institutions like Auroville or townships like Auroville in different parts of India. But for doing that, we must first establish this Auroville on very sound footing. The third thing that I would like to mention is that when in 1964 I heard that the mother had a plan to establish Auroville, my heart, no bounds of happiness, automatically, spontaneously. And since then, my enthusiasm for Auroville has remained the same, or even more. I truly believe that Auroville is most important for the future of the world. And the way in which Auroville is developing, although one can say that many more things could have happened, many better things could have happened, I feel very, very happy. I feel very happy that Auroville is growing, developing, and making good contributions. Even you yourself as a member of Auroville, you have made a good contribution to the problems of India. You have written on India, you have interacted with a number of leaders, you have gained the confidence of Indians. Even newspapers refer to you as an authority. And this is of a great value in my consciousness. I have a few notes if you like me to read out, because they might not appear anywhere else.
So there are 2 questions. One,
Yes.
What is the state of Auroville today, in your opinion? Especially what you feel Auroville is lacking today. And the second question is, what can be done to remedy this, the insufficient size of Auroville?
No, I am very happy, first of all, that Matri Mandir has been established. It's such a beautiful monument.
Is it important occultly, from an occult point of view?
Both vocal point of view and also explicit point of view.
It is.
Matri Mandir, as mother said, is the soul of Auroville.
Right.
And I think It is the body of the mother herself.
You yourself spent quite some time in Auroville as chairman of Auroville.
Yes.
What was your experience then?
Well, it was a battle, but I was very happy. Particularly, I was happy with the children of Auroville. And my dear friend Dipti, for example, she helped me a lot in giving me a contact with the children. And I spoke to the children of Auroville on many subjects. And I felt myself enriched by that experience of Auroville. I have only to be grateful to Auroville and to all the members of Auroville.
Then what did you feel that could be done more for Auroville's
Well,
growth?
first of all, I thought that economy of Auroville requires a very special attention. Because mother wanted that there should be no private property in Auroville. Nothing that one can say about that this is my possession. This sense of possession of any property
Too much property
should go.
consciousness.
It's a very tall claim and tall ideal.
Yes, of course.
I don't think it can immediately be realized. But I think that we should move in that direction.
What about the education, Kireet? How did you feel about the education?
Education, of course, is a very big experiment. And I am very happy that many things have developed. About awareness of the body, for example, the whole program is so good. And many original things have taken place, last school, even after school, and then super school also.
Future school, yeah, future school.
No, super school also.
Super school, okay. How do you compare the Auroville education and the Shurindo Ashram education?
Well, there is a lot of difference, no doubt, but I think there is some continuity, and what is called the idea of free progress system is a matter of great research
In Auroville.
in Auroville as also here. It's a very big subject. How to develop free progress system is a very, very big problem. There's a question of objective of the system, and it can't be even called a system. It's a way of dealing with children. It's not a system of dealing with children. It's a way of dealing with children.
So there's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go. Objectives, contents and methods of education. All the three things should receive a tremendous amount of research activity.
Are there some people in Auroville whom you thought were fit to do that research?
Oh, there are plenty of people. Oh yes, I think all the good teachers are there. And once again I must mention Sanjeev, for example. And before Sanjeev, Ale Bernard made a tremendous contribution.
Yes.
And as you know, we prepared 3 very big volumes. The Aim of Life, Good Teacher and Good Pupil. And the 3rd volume was Mystery and Excellence of the Human Body. And Ale Bernard and the team of research, teams of research, not only one team. We had teams of research. It was a tremendous work which was done. And I feel very, very happy that this has been done. At present, these 3 books are now in circulation in many parts of the country. And many governments are consulting these books for their guidance.
What about the spiritual growth of Auroville? Do you feel that in terms of inner growth, Auroville has...
Well, I'm in touch with many young people of Auroville, young people and even elderly people of Auroville.
Even today?
Even today. And I can tell you confidentially, I know the stories of many people, what is happening to them, their struggles. And I feel that it's a tremendous tapasya which is going on in Auroville. I can only say that there are beautiful souls in Auroville who have come for tapasya.
Yes.
And Auroville is providing them the right atmosphere, encouragement and base for their tapasya. I feel always Auroville to be a kind of burning fire. And I feel
Fire can hurt. Fire can hurt also.
Pardon?
Fire can burn.
It can burn, but it is a tapasya. And I feel very happy. In fact, I am in touch with many, many people. And although outwardly people may not know, but inwardly, since I know them quite from the inner side, the inner stories, I know how much spiritual struggle is going on in Auroville. And I can only say that I am more than happy that this is happening. That there is a mother has created a place in the world where such a thing can happen.
So the mother's dream is happening.
Is happening and will continue to happen. I have no doubt about it actually.
It's a very beautiful note.
Great, not only faith, but I can only say that I'm absolutely sure that Auroville is destined to play the leading role in the world. In terms of research, in terms of contribution it can make to the culture of the new world, to the theme of human unity, to the theme of perpetual education and the youth that never ages. I am very happy about Auroville and I see great prospects before Auroville.
So what we would like is that you give a few, leads, a few, leading points for Auroville's growth. I think in your notes you have a few.
No, I have one note which was a summary of a talk which mother had with Nandini Satpathy. At that time she was a deputy minister.
Yes, I remember Nandini Satpathy very well.
Of the prime minister, in the prime minister's office. And she had once come to the mother.
Right.
And she had spoken to the mother. And I have a note, a summary of what mother told her. It may be quite interesting.
Yes, right.
So if you allow me,
please.
I shall just find out my note and I will read it out to you.
Yes.
Because perhaps this note we will not find anywhere now. When Nandini Satpathy spoke of what Indira said about the troubles that she was having and the difficulties that she was facing, she added that Indira wanted the help of the mother. In reply, the mother said that she knew very well about all that and that she was constantly giving her help and blessings to Indira. Regarding the danger of communism, the mother said that communism is a truth that has been distorted, and that when the truth comes out, the distortion will fall off. The truth is that all one's efforts and all one's work should be turned not to the state, but to the divine. The mother added that there is only one country in the world that knows that there is only one truth to which everything should be turned, and that country is India. Other countries have forgotten this, but in India it is ingrained in the people, and one day it will come out. Mother further added that we must all recognize and work for India. She said that India is the cradle of the truth and will lead the world to truth. India will find its real place in the world when it realizes this. The mother asked Nandini Satpathy to tell Indira that she should decide to become an obedient, faithful and devoted servant of the truth, and truth alone, and then nothing could obstruct her. All outward difficulties and even persons trying to upset her position will not be able to affect her. If she is firm in her faith and in her devotion to serve the truth, nothing can prevail against her. Mother went on and said, to be a true servitor of the truth, one must forget all one's personal desires and preferences and have only one thought, to serve the truth. The mother, of course, in the press, at that time there were some few men also.
You were there also in that conference?
I was not there at that time, but some other men were there. So mother said that she hoped that men who were present would not be offended, but she added, it is only women who know how to use this power that comes from the truth. The mother also said that Nandini should convey to Indira that she must know that the laws of man cannot stand before the laws of the divine. And ultimately, the laws of the divine will prevail. Mother also told Nandini that a new consciousness had descended on the 1st January. This was in 1969. And that consciousness was very active. And that we have come to a very critical time in the history of the world. At the same time, it was most interesting. This new consciousness, she said, is preparing the Superman. So there are big changes happening all around. She explained that when the first man developed, the animal had no mind and could not appreciate the evolution. Man has mind and can appreciate the evolution. That is why this is the most interesting time in history. If one can stand in that consciousness and watch the happenings from above, one can see how small and futile they are, and one can then act upon them with a great power. The mother also told confidentially to Nandini Satpathy that she wanted Indira to continue in her present position because the mother was able to work through her as she is sincerely trying to serve the country. Then towards the end, mother said that Auroville is the only hope for preserving a new world and for preventing a world war. She said tensions are growing and the situation is becoming very critical. But only the idea of Auroville, if it can become more widespread, can prevent the world war. And then at the end she added, the children who are born at this time are fortunate. I think this is a note that I had with me, and perhaps it may be useful to remind ourselves of this note.
Yes, absolutely. Now that leads to one question, Kireet. What should be the relation between Auroville and India? Because it's never been really defined. As you know, Pondicherry is India, but it's really different from India. So how can Auroville have a interaction with India? How can Auroville learn from India and India maybe get something from Auroville?
I think from that point of view, much needs to be done.
Yes, and we need your.
I think that we need to learn more about India, and particularly what Auroville has written in the Foundations of Indian Culture about India. It would be a very good idea if we can have a more developed concept of not only of ancient India, but what India can do to the world today. And for that, of course, it is good to assimilate what India has to do. And you remember, Auroville produced a very good film called Genius of India.
Of course.
And I must congratulate the makers of this film, particularly Christine and Alain Bernard, and many others who contributed. I think there are many people.
Olivier, Christine,
many participated, yes.
Alain.
And I think this film should be shown to all over India.
Should it be shown in Auroville also? Because
yes, in Auroville also you should see from time to time. Just to remind, because there is one very important sentence in that whole film, that there are 3 tasks of India. The first task is to learn about the spiritual heritage of ancient India in its fullness and amplitude. The second was to draw the spirit of India and to develop new philosophy, science, critical knowledge, and all the new branches of knowledge in the light of the spirit of India, and to deal with the problems of India with some kind of originality. Not to imitate the West, but in its own originality, we must deal with the present problems of India. And thirdly, we must work for synthesis. And I think Auroville is the greatest place on the earth for a true synthesis. I don't think anywhere synthesis of culture, of ideas, of spiritual experience is being collected anywhere in the world except in Auroville. And for that reason I feel very, very happy. But this should continue.
This should continue.
This should continue.
The foundation of Indian culture should be one of the books that Auroville.
I think you yourself have taken up a program which is very important. I was very happy to hear that you are trying to create a big museum in Pune, where you will represent the entire history of India in a nutshell, so that the children of today and tomorrow will be able to absorb and learn about India readily through exhibitions and through various kinds of things that can be available in a museum.
As you know, many of the new generation of Indian children are not aware of their own culture and roots.
Yes, that is a big pity because
Sri Aurobindo doesn't have the place that he should have.
Yes, actually Sri Aurobindo should be the central to the whole of the future of India.
But it's not happening. Why is it not happening? You know, this is a question.
Also because we ourselves are not studying Sri Aurobindo. That is a great pity, in fact. I don't know if you take a census and ask anybody how many people have read Foundations of Indian Culture.
Very sure.
You won't find many.
Very sure.
Now that's a great pity. I think apart from Christine, who has done a good deal of studies in Sanskrit and also in Indian culture, and she is very devoted, I don't think there are many people in Auroville. Of course, there are many Indians who know quite a good deal and who have read also Sri Aurobindo. But by and large, I find that on this area, much attention needs to be paid.
Because the new generation of Indians who came to Auroville were not like dictees, they were not versed in their own culture. So as a result, this new generation of Indians, particularly the young Indian architects.
No, I think you should take the help of Aster Patel, for example. She is both East and West. She was in Sorbonne University, she has done a lot of research in philosophy. And she is also looking after Bharat Nivas and developing Bharat Nivas. I think much can be expected from Bharat Nivas in this connection. And I think all people in Auroville should collaborate with her so that the work can develop faster.
Now the last question, because I don't want to tire you, is about many times Mother has said that India was turning its back on its destiny. Is it still true today? Do you feel that sometimes India is turning its back to its destiny to become the spiritual leader of the world?
Well, I think that India, of course, is passing through a very difficult time from this point of view.
Yes.
We are strangers in our own country, you might say. And of course, there are some people, some great leaders in India who try to do something, and I don't talk of political personalities only. Take for example J.R.D. Tata, who was a member of the Advisory Council for Auroville for a number of years and was himself a great man in his own right. Well, he did so much for India. I think in fact the whole Tata family has done so much for India that the whole of India should remain grateful to that family. From Jamshedji Tata, and so much work has been done. And so much contribution, even J.R.D. Tata established Friends of Auroville Trust, and he was the president of it. So he did so much for India and for Auroville. I think we have to rejuvenate ourselves. And in any case, you should have a great center of Indian culture in Auroville, so that everybody in Auroville understands what India represents.
That is very important.
The spirit of India should vibrate in Auroville.
In Auroville. That should happen.
The
center of Indian culture, which
is a very big task. In fact, you should have one special study group for Foundations of Indian Culture. And every day there should be some discussion or some study of Indian culture. I think there should be a regular program.
Why is it that Sri Aurobindo doesn't have the place that he should have today in Indian society? In history books, everywhere in India, in political thoughts, on the television, everywhere. We should hear Sri Aurobindo's name all the time, but we do not. Why?
Well, I think that we ourselves have to do a lot.
Are we to blame? Are we to blame?
Yeah, because we have to work so much, not only intellectually but spiritually, to follow the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo. A very difficult task, but that is what Sri Aurobindo is. He has given us a most difficult task, and we have to prove ourselves to be worthy of the whatever work we are given here, and opportunity we are given here by Sri Aurobindo Damodar. So I would only turn to ourselves instead of criticizing X, Y, Z. I would say let us ourselves do a lot so that our work goes on ringing in the whole country.
Sometimes even I'm angry after Sri Aurobindo because I feel he's become indifferent to.
No. Sri Aurobindo is constantly present, and we are still alive only because of Sri Aurobindo Damodar. They are working among us, and I have personal experience of Sri Aurobindo's intervention.
Yeah, definitely.
So I will not or narrate everything, but I am very certain that Sri Aurobindo and the mother are actively working for India and the world, and they will not allow India to be lost.
You think they will not allow it?
No, they will not allow India to be lost.
Because at the moment there are many scandals, the great corruption
It's
is
all right,
happening.
it's all being washed out.
Are you aware of that?
Well, I am hearing from time to time, and I don't think we should concentrate upon all these black things that are happening. Our concentration should be on purification. Purification is the main theme of Sri Aurobindo's yoga. Without purification, yoga cannot be practiced. And we should be constantly working on the theme of purification.
What would be the science today of the work of the supramental? Which science should we look at to find out that the supramental is actually working upon this earth and particularly upon India?
Well, I think that it's a very difficult question to answer because there are no physical proofs that we can give the look. But certainly, for example, the way in which the Soviet Union, the communism collapsed, is one of the biggest signs. Secondly, that the Third World War has not come about. This is a negative thing, sometimes are not even taken into account. It's a very important thing, the Third World War has not come about. It's also because of supramental action. And I think there are many things which are happening today in the world where we can see very clearly the direct intervention of the supermind. But first of all, one must understand what is supermind itself.
Yes.
And the knowledge of supermind should be spread in the whole country and in the world. And that is another task of Auroville.
Yes.
What is supramental consciousness?
But nobody talks much about supermind. I mean, when I came to Auroville till about 1985, then people used to talk about the supermind, maybe too much about the supramental.
No, that is
But
true.
nowadays nobody talks much about the
Actually, one
supermind.
day I read out one passage from the library about the supermind, and mother said, you go to Auroville and read that out in Auroville.
Oh, she said that.
She said to me, yes, about the supermind.
Today, not many people know and talk about the
No, I think
supermind.
you should bring out a small collection of citations from Sri Aurobindo's mother
On the supermind.
supermind.
That's a brilliant idea. I will tell
Yes,
Christine.
now it should be done. You tell Christine,
Yes,
she will be able to do it very well. Also, it will ask there also.
yes.
One good brochure on the supramental consciousness.
That is true because nobody
People
talks
should know
about.
what is supermind.
Nobody talks about the supermind
Yes.
in Auroville nowadays.
What is supermind should be told, and it should be known to all the people in Auroville.
So that's a brilliant idea.
Because mother said that Auroville is the cradle of the superman. And if that is so,
Yes.
the people of Auroville should be seized by the idea of the supermind, by the consciousness of the supermind, by serving the supermind in one's own way.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, but I don't want to tire you too much today, so I'll stop it now.
I think that is all, no?
Yes, it's nice. But next time when you're feeling okay, then I would like to do something about more personal about you meeting how you came here. Who's Kireet by,
Oh.
Yes, who's Kireet by, how you came here, That would be one part. Then your interaction with the mother, something a little more intimate, your personal interaction with the mother, how today you remember it, And then we'll do something else on India also, a little more, what should be the direction of India.
Program.
Yeah, but, these are...
But no, please don't pressure, no pressure.
No pressure, no pressure.
Sometime, in due course of time.
Yes, when you feel okay.
Today I'm not so well either.
Today is still not so well.
But still.
Your mind is very, very clear, Your mind is very, very clear, your names and memory and everything is there. So we should just take that opportunity to, to take things out of it.
Thank you very much that you took the trouble of coming here.
It's for the future generations, I'm doing this because I feel that both in India and Auroville people don't care about memory, Like I came with a caravan, there are very few people who have survived us with the caravan.
Yeah, that is true.
Very few photos, very few documents, So it just always started when this caravan came. So in the same way, there are people here, who have been here so long and we have knowledge in them. So we should not allow it to be lost.
Actually, even the inauguration which took place should be preserved.
Yes.
Memory of it. It was a tremendous event, that Auroville inauguration.
Very few people are there. We did an interview of Popo. Popo?
Yes.
He was there, so we got a little bit of thing, but...
No, but you should try to get on inauguration.
Yes.
It is a very big event.
Something happened that day.
5,000 people sitting in at that time when inauguration took place. And so much serenity and quietude. You can't imagine 5,000 people sitting as one white sheet of silence. It's a tremendous experience.
The Mother's Force is still active.
Yeah, tremendous.
As much as then.
Much more. Tremendous.
You feel it all the time.
Oh, yes.
We are going through difficult times, nevertheless.
It's all right. We shall go through, and better times are going to come. In fact, I am extremely optimistic. Extremely optimistic.
I met Mr. Modi. I met him in his residence.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
He had a long day, and it was about 6:30 in the evening, and he was still looking fresh.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
So I was morning today doing some yoga, doing some practice maybe.
You gave my regards to him?
Of course. I told him that you were recuperating and you still could not work, but you sent his regards. He was very pleased. His mind is very sharp also.
Very sharp.
He remembered things which, I met him 4 or 5 months before. So he remembered something he told me then.
I see.
What happened? He said, what happened?
I see.
Very sharp.
Very nice.
So
For your work he gave encouragement?
Well, actually I wanted money from him, And I was told that from the Chief Minister's fund he could give some money for the project. But he told me that there are restrictions on the Chief Minister's funds. So it has to be spent in Gujarat. So he couldn't, so I was a little disappointed. So I told him, I'm a non-Indian, I'm doing this museum, I need some help. He said, no, but you're one of ours, you're ours, So let's hope he... But he was very nice and very warm.
Very nice.
And what was amazing is that when you fly over Gujarat, from Maharashtra it's very grey and dry, and then suddenly you come into Gujarat, it's all green and you see water everywhere.
Yeah, that is true.
So he's done tremendous job, tremendous job. If only 5 states, could be like Gujarat, then there'll be a tremendous change in India.
Oh yes, undoubtedly. That's why I'm very optimistic. It will be.
I'm not so optimistic now.
No, you should throw away your pessimism of any kind. We are moving towards very future, which is very brilliant.
Soon?
Oh, soon means in the time, from the real point of view of the time, it is really soon.
At the moment, things don't look
so
good.
Yes, I mean, we should be quite grateful that we are here at this time when the Mother and Sri Aurobindo are working so powerfully in the world.
You feel they're working?
Oh yes, tremendously.
Because sometimes I feel they're very remote, they're like...
No. They're very, very near us.
Look, like Maheshwari is very, she's there, but she's,
But she also masters the detailed work, detailed execution of the work. She is present in every detail.
I'm doing that small temple dedicated to Mother India. I told you, in Pune, we are building a small temple, and I'm going to put the eyes of the Mother. You know, there's a picture of the eyes of the
Even
Mother.
today, for example, I was not feeling so well, and yet you came, and I was not so sure that I'll be able to talk to you. But you can see that I could talk
Everything is there.
quite fluently
Very
and
clearly.
without much difficulty.
Very clearly.
And this is what I see, the Mother present here. And so she gave me the possibility of talking to you.
We should do more when you're feeling without
All right,
pressure.
we shall,
Because
yes.
you have to live. You have to give this.
I'll tell you, I'll let you know.
You give this to Auroville and to the world
I'll
because
let
you
you
have
know.
knowledge in you, and there are few people,
I'll let you know.
very few people left. You know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Namita will come next time.
All right, thank you.